Hello and welcome to our channel, Loving Handcrafts by BMW. This is Brenda. So today I'm going to be bringing you a card. I know I promised in my last couple of videos that I was going to do a card, so I'm fulfilling that promise. And I just want to say I was inspired by a creator that I saw on Facebook, and I was inspired by this template for an open window. I was really liking the look of this, so I thought I'd go ahead and recreate it and make it my own. So this card is inspired by Miss Rhonda. So what I did was a couple of things. Firstly, I imported her card into Design Space. Like, I liked her design, and I brought it in and saved it and bookmarked it, and so I'm going to make it my own. There's a couple of things that I did. Didn't do anything differently from what the original intent of the card. So let me just show you what this one here is. These are the open window panels. So put that right there. I got an image from Creativefabrica, and then I also just Googled some quotes or inspirational quotes to add it to the existing template that Miss Rhonda had. So let's see. This is a 5x7 card, by the way. So I grabbed a couple of images from Creativefabrica. I can take you there real quick and show you to show you the website. I highly encourage you to explore it, support it. I pull a lot of images, especially when I'm doing cards like this, because this ultimately is a print then cut project. I like to pick images from there. They've done all the work. They've curated all of the images and fonts and sublimation stuff, and it's a plethora of things that you can use in your everyday crafting. So let me take you over to Creativefabrica. So I thought I had it up, but I guess I didn't. 1 second. Okay, so I just typed in Creativefabrica, and so this was this is the website. This is their page, and I typically, when I'm looking for images here, I either like stained glass images or watercolor images, because I'm not a watercolorist. So for this one, I just let's just put in stained glass, if I can spell it right. And then you can just come up with whatever you're looking for. You can narrow it down. I did stained glass like cabin. We'll try that. See what we get. Oh, it doesn't like that. Come on. My mouse is all over the place today. And so this is what you would get. And then if you like these images, you just download it and bring it into your computer, and then you can bring it into Design Space. So that's what that looks like. So that's kind of sort of what I did. And so this is the image that I selected once I downloaded it. So if you wanted to bring that image in, you would go to Upload. Let's take... I got the lake. We'll just take this one. And then I'll just add it to my canvas. Whoops, I hit cancel. My bad. Upload. Add to canvas. And it might come in pretty large, so you want to just shrink it in a little bit. And so the original picture, so let me flatten this attached. See if I can get to, that's stained glass beach. Oh, make it a little bit more manageable. I am looking to get to the size of this. So let me unflatten this. And okay, it's this one. So this image is 4 by 4 and 4.05 by 4.05 inches. So that's what that new image would need to be that I've brought in here, this beach one. So to spare myself all of that, if you keep the ratio lock on and you just type in 4.05, there you're good to go. Now you can actually use this image if you so choose. Whoops, make it a little bit bigger. I just used my shortcut key. And so you can replace any of these images. If you don't like this image, you can find something else. You know, it's the sky's the limit. But if you take a look at it, this would be really pretty. So let's take this. I'm going to right click that and bring it to the front. And then that would be your view. And I think that's really pretty as well. Actually, I kind of like all of them. And then you could find the appropriate sentiment. So I just Googled some sentiments and brought that in. I'm not going to show you what that looks like. Since this is a print then cut, you want to make sure that you flatten everything. So that's this thing, so that you can send it to your printer. Then you can cut it out on your Cricut or your Joy Extra or your Maker, whatever machine you have. Let's see. So I just want to make sure I get this back flattened. So I'm going to make sure I pick. So there's the background layer, this layer, and the sentiment. I need to make sure I get them all together. So I want to make sure I get them flattened. There we go. And now it's going to do a print and then cut it out. And so this, you could choose. Now, I did happily or accidentally, you could actually make this a print and cut layer as well. Let me bring it to the front again. And you could get this aligned and then flatten this to this, and then it'll print out as one. Or you can print this window, open window, as in some white cardstock as a separate, and I've done both as a separate piece. So I've actually done both. So yeah, this card comes together really quick. You just have to pick your image. You just have to, the crafter that I was inspired by this project had already done all of the hard work. I just brought it in and made it my own. You can pick your background colors. So if you don't like this color with this, you can lighten it up, darken it up. You can change the color. Let's see if I wanted to go with something with, let's say, a light green behind that. See how it changes the mood of the scene? I wanted something warm. That's why I went with this color. You can go with something cool. That would work with that ocean one, with the beach. You know, just the color of the paper will tone it down. Go with, yeah, it just depends. The sky's the limit. You can pick patterns too. I think there's some patterns in here that I don't hardly ever use, but you could change the background by selecting a pattern. You can import patterns. It's just whatever you would choose. Okay, it's taking too long for that. Let's see. So what happens? Okay, yeah. Yeah, so I'm going to hide this. I'm just going to turn that off. So you can just, I've already cut all of the, oh, cool, Starry Night. I finally did it. That's pretty clever. I'm just going to hide all of this because I don't want to muddy up my mat. So if you click on Make It, then this is your image that's printed and cut. You can actually print these out as independent panels and adhere to the background. If you didn't want to have this, if you had colored cardstock and you didn't want to waste your ink, then you could print these out as independent panels and then attach everything to your card base. So yeah, it's all kind of options. So that's what then that would be printed, and you could print a series of these. So I'm going to cancel this. I'm going to take you to my work surface. So here we are. This is what I cut out. And so you can see what I've done. So initially, this wasn't the plan when I initially started this. This was supposed to be a separate panel, but I ended up flattening it all, which makes this a happy accident. I can see where that has some benefits, because if you needed to make a quick card, you didn't have anything ready in your stash, you could go here, print out this one big panel, and then decorate the inside of the card, or put your inside sentiment, leave it blank. This has some really good options, and then this is stuck in your card stash, and when you need a card, you can whip it out. Let me show you what I have cut out, which is what I really intended. So I cut out two. As you can see, I have two different colors, but I use the same images I showed you earlier. I've already folded my card bases. So this is a good time to talk about supplies. So let's just do that. Of course, you're going to need an image. You're going to need some cardstock. You're going to need some glue. You will be needing possibly a bone folder or some type of tool to crease your score line. You will need a printer. You will need some type of cutting machine. And I use my Cricut for that. And I actually use my Cricut Maker and sometimes my Cricut Joy Extra. You would need some scissors possibly. You could possibly be using some foam tape. This is my little stash of foam tape. Let me just say that I didn't round these corners, but it was an afterthought when I made this. So you might need a quarter rounder punch. I just wanted to see what it looked like. So something like that to round your corners, and then you're good to go. You might, depending on what you decide to do, you could do, for me, for my inside sentiments, I'm going to kind of mix the two, although I could print it out and do a print then cut for my inside sentiment. I'm going to be doing some stamping. It just depends on what occasion this card is for. I could do some stamping. I could do some heat embossing. It just depends. So I typically leave this blank till I figure out what I'm going to, who the recipient is or what the occasion is for this. So that takes care of that. So yeah, and so here are my window frames. You can actually, I will take some time to glue these together. If you didn't want to use foam tape, you could, to make this a little thicker, you could just cut out two window frames and put them and glue them together. But if you didn't want to fiddle with the gluing them together, or you didn't like the look of using the foam tape, then you could actually pile up 3 of these. Actually, I should have did 6. That would have been a little, to make this a little bit thicker. But I'm just going to use 2 because that's what I cut. So let's do that. I'm going to move this aside so I won't get any glue on it. And then I'm just going to turn one of these over, get my glue going. And this is my favorite craft glue. And I'm just going to put some lines of glue here. I'm practicing with the beading because you just want to do drops of glue here. I don't want it to ooze out. I go between foam tape and foam strips and glue. It just depends on how I feel, what look I'm going for. Sometimes this is a little bit more than you bargained for, but keeps your alignment skills going. So you want to align it up in one corner. Make sure you get it fitted together really nicely. And then it should come together fairly easily after that. You could do one more layer. If I thought about it, I would have cut out one more layer. But it's no big. It's pretty sturdy. And this will make this a little bit more sturdy. So yeah, that's how that looks. Put that to the side. Or you can decide if you wanted to do foam tape. And you could still use foam tape. But these are some really thin foam strips. They're I think I got them on Amazon. So they're really, and I'll have a link to them on my supply page. But yeah, so they're really thin. So these are pretty ideal to kind of cover this. Actually, this would make a great shaker card too. Actually, the window frame would. But I'm going to stick with the glue. Let's glue these two together. This card comes together really fast because your Cricut does most of the work. You just got to put it together. This is going to be a really quick video. But I really like this look of this. Look, let me put it down so you can see. Snip dragon. I typically like to hold stuff in my hand when I'm gluing. But if I do that, then you can't really see it. So I'm just putting out some dots of glue because I don't want it to come oozing all out. You know? And then the idea is to line it up in one corner. Get it in one corner really good. Then it should just lay in place. Like that. And then before you press down hard, you get it all lined up. And then we have our window frame. Perfect. So then we can take this. Now if you want, and you want to pop this up a little bit, so we're going to do one that's not popped up, and then we're going to do one that is. So that's what that would look like. That's really nice. And the thing that I have to remember is you just want to make sure that you try to get an even border on either side. It doesn't really, it won't make such a big hairy deal for in between this and this because you got that sentiment there to balance it out. But that's what you're really looking for. So we'll do one. It's not popped out because you're going to do what I'm saying is I'm going to put some foam squares right in here, but I'm going to do one that's not like that just to see so you can get the comparison of the two. But I really like this. This is where you make it your own. If you wanted to and you didn't want it to look so stark white, you could smudge the window frame up with a little ink, distressed ink, any kind of ink to smudge up the window frame a little bit, so make it look a little weathered. That would be great, just hit the edges with a little bit of distressed ink or oxide ink. Distressed ink I probably use. Just a little bit, and then I'm just doing that. I should have grabbed my, oh yeah, that's nice. That's really pretty. See if it's straight. And bring my block to hold it down. Put my mouse on it. So this one, for this one, I'm going to turn it over and then I'm going to use the foam squares just to pop it up a little bit, just so you can see the difference between the two. And you may not like that look at all, but I figured I'd show it. And this is just the right amount of thickness. These are great for shaker windows. Now I'm thinking how I'm gonna make a shaker card with this. There's a way. Oh, wow. Oh, yeah. Just thought about it. Remember that starry background I pulled out? Oh, that would be really pretty with that, and just have some sparkly bits in there. And it'll just be a window of this starry night. Oh, yeah, that would work. If you're going to make this into a shaker card, then these, you'd have to close the gap between this. You can't have that gap right there. You'd have to close it so the shaker bits won't fall out. Oh, yeah, this will work. I'm thinking about it. I might be playing with that later today off camera. Because if you do 2 of the window frames, you can put the acetate in between the 2. Oh, that would be lovely. Yeah. Just thinking out loud. That's what happens when you craft. You get another idea. And see how now that sticks up further. So it's already, I can kind of tell the dimension. See, that pops out a little bit further. So if you were mailing this to someone, you got to be mindful of how far that pops out. But you get a little bit of depth like that, and when I'm going to glue it down, so to have that depth like that. I think I like this look better. But you know, you never know till you try. Sure. All right, so we're going to get this up. Take these off. So yeah, it turned out really well. This card comes together really quickly. If I was going to do it again, and now that I think about it, when I said you didn't want to use up my ink, and you can print this as an independent panel, and then you could actually do some ink blending or some embossing, some dry embossing, or heat embossing for that matter. You know, the sky's the limit with this, because you can really jizz this up. Okay, what I'm going to do really quickly is I'm just going to put some glue. I'm going to hold the inside of here. And just in case I have to maneuver this around, this will give me an opportunity to reposition this before it commits with the adhesive behind the foam tape. I'm not going to put glue on this one, on the frames, like the panes. I'm going to leave that off. But I wanted to make sure that I kind of be mindful. Whoops, see how that's all wonky already? And make sure it's straight. It's a little bit uneven over here. Oh, I saw that. Yeah, I saw that. Let me turn it on this side. I really should have my grabbers out. I was talking to my sister-in-law, and she was telling me, she was like, oh my God, you have the patience to fiddle with that? I'm like, yes, I do. Okay, so I think I like this look better. Okay, note to self, when I do it again, double it up. So I'm going to print 2 of the open windows, and then I'm going to use the foam tape to pump it up just a little bit, and you got a lot of depth. And then don't glue that down. And now it really looks like it's an open window. Perfect. Okay, I like that. I'm not going to change anything with that. Then you want to go ahead and center that on your card base. So the card base is 5 by 7. So this was cut 10 by 7. Yeah, so this is 10 by 7. So when you fold it in half, it becomes 5 by 7. Yep, had to think about that. So that's, put that one on there. And if you didn't want to do that, you mean you don't have to use a Cricut. You could have done, you know, paper trimmer, scoreboard, do it the manual. But you know how me, if I can put it on the Cricut, I'm going to adapt it and put it on the Cricut so it can do all the work. Okay, I don't think I'm putting enough glue down recently. I feel like I'm not gluing things down with enough glue. I'm always afraid to put too much, and then I don't put enough. So I like the idea of having a white border. That's how I like to do mine. So I just want to nudge it over a little, make sure straight, and then like to press it down, because invariably I have glue on my hands and fingers and fingertips, so sometimes it gets transferred over. So that's card number 1. It's got a nice white border around here, all this nice white space. I love it. I love white space. This will be card front number 2. See, I'm already messing up. Make sure I get down in those corners. Let's put this down there. Like I said, I like to open mine up so I can see where the line is. That's just how I like to do it. Over time, your eye does get better when things are wonky. And then press down, let that get contact, turn it over. And we got 2 cards done. That's 2 cards done, and it didn't take a whole lot of time to get my 2 cards done. So this can be turned into a retirement card, a hello card, thinking of you card, a birthday card. I have a big birthday stamp that you can put in there. I've got some sentiments from Altenew and here. So yeah, that works out just fine. So you can make this any. I'm really liking the look of this with the depth that popped that up. So I'm really thinking that's the way to go. But that's a personal preference. But if you're going to mail this to someone and you need to keep the bulk down, then do this. If you're handing this to someone or you're going to hand deliver it, then this is the way to go. So if you have any comments, if you like, subscribe, please comment to the channel, help our channel grow. And I will see you next time. And my friends, I appreciate you spending your time with me because you didn't have to. And I will catch you on the next side of the project. Take care.